For Chelsea fans, this season has been an agonizing experience as they find themselves outside the top 10 for the first time since 1995 to 96. In this video, we will assess whether Pochettino is the right manager to resolve this mess. This season has been incredibly poor for Chelsea. It's a perplexing combination of luxurious spending, underwhelming performances, and disappointing decisions, reminiscent of when your dad attempted to play Football Manager for the first and only time on Christmas Day. However, there is some good news for Chelsea supporters as the club recently reached an agreement with Mauricio Pochettino to become their new head coach. The former Tottenham manager has accepted the challenge of leading Stamford Bridge starting this summer. His task is to rejuvenate a club that's going through its worst season of the 21st century. Despite investing over £500 million in initial transfer fees during the first two windows under Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital's ownership. The current campaign has been shockingly disappointing considering the significant amount of money invested in the squad, with more expected to be spent in the future. Nonetheless, Chelsea fans need not lose hope entirely. They're well aware of how fast fortunes can change. Back in the 2015-16 season, it was a dreadful campaign for Chelsea, securing only 50 points, winning a mere 12 matches, and finishing in 10th place. However, the following season saw a remarkable transformation, with the club accumulating 93 points, winning 30 matches, and clinching the top position, finishing 7 points ahead of Pochettino's Tottenham. If Pochettino assumes the role and manages to have a similar revolutionary impact on the undoubtedly talented Chelsea squad, there are valid reasons to believe in a substantial improvement on the horizon. So, is Pochettino the perfect candidate for the position? Before answering the question, let's take a moment to assess the current situation. When Todd Boehly assumed ownership of Chelsea Football Club, he vowed to adopt a patient and long-term approach to hiring managers, in contrast to the previous owner, Roman Abramovich, who had a reputation for swiftly dismissing coaches. However, within less than a year under Boehly's leadership, the American owner has already parted ways with two permanent managers, Thomas Tuchel and Graham Potter, more than any other season during Abramovich's reign. The decision to appoint Graham Potter from Brighton for a compensation fee of £21.5 million initially seemed intriguing. The new owners, Boehly and Eghbali, aimed to prioritize the gradual development of the team and the nurturing of young players, rather than solely chasing immediate results. Potter's composed personality was thought to align well with this new direction. However, Chelsea fans were not enthralled by Potter's lack of glamour, and the owner's decision only added to the challenges he faced. Potter may have been onto something when he referred to the job as the most difficult in football. The January transfer window witnessed a wild spending spree, resulting in an abundance of new arrivals that needed to be integrated into the team, while only one player departed. The proposed move of Hakim Ziyech to Paris Saint-Germain fell through at the last minute, leaving Potter to make sense of the situation once the window had closed. Having a multitude of talented players at one's disposal may appear advantageous, but it can present a daunting task for managers to maintain squad harmony when not everyone is getting playing time. Unfortunately, it seems that not enough consideration was given to the challenges Graham Potter would face at Chelsea. Despite the significant investments in the transfer market, many of the new signings were young and inexperienced, requiring time to adapt to the Premier League. This placed immense pressure on Potter to deliver immediate results, despite some players lacking experience and readiness. Even the more carefully considered signings raised doubts about their value and suitability for the team. The pursuit of success and the demand for instant results often overshadowed the need for long-term planning and the development of young players. Achieving success in football goes beyond simply spending money. It necessitates a meticulously planned recruitment model, intelligent investments, and patience to build a successful team. Unfortunately, the lack of patience and foresight from Chelsea's ownership has resulted in a series of misguided decisions that placed undue pressure on their coaches and ultimately hindered the progress of the club. The club's transfer policy has resulted in an inflated squad with too many players and insufficient space in the dressing room. Some players have even resorted to sitting on the floor during meetings and changing in a separate area before training. With such dysfunction behind the scenes, it's unsurprising that the team has struggled to find cohesion on the pitch. In this particular situation, Chelsea has undergone an extensive search for a new head coach following the dismissal of Graham Potter in April, ultimately choosing Mauricio Pochettino as their preferred candidate. The Argentine manager gained prominence during his stints at Espanyol and Southampton before enjoying a highly successful tenure with Tottenham, Chelsea's London rivals. Under his guidance, Spurs achieved top 4 finishes in 4 consecutive seasons and reached their first ever Champions League final in 2019. However, he was subsequently relieved of his duties the following season, only to assume the role of head coach at PSG in January 2021. During his time at PSG, Pochettino achieved victory in the Coupe de France in May 2021 and went on to secure the Ligue 1 title in the subsequent season. Returning to our initial question, can Pochettino restore order amidst the chaos? Mauricio Pochettino's philosophy can be summed up in a single statement. When a player signs a contract, they need to understand that they do not sign a contract to play games. You sign a contract to train, then you wait for the manager to pick the team. These words encapsulate much of Pochettino's managerial approach, including his desire for hungry, humble players who don't assume an automatic right to start, the importance of a cohesive and egalitarian group that respects one another, and a squad fully committed to the manager's vision, willingly embracing something greater than themselves. For those players who do not share the manager's ideas, Pochettino encourages them to seek opportunities elsewhere. When contemplating Pochettino and what he might bring to Chelsea, many envision the aggressive high presses and the tactical organization you see on the field. The relentless work ethic and double training sessions may also come to mind. While these elements are undoubtedly significant, the underlying foundation lies in the human connections forged between Pochettino and his players, as well as the camaraderie among the players themselves. What truly unifies and energizes Pochettino's work is his exceptional ability as a man manager and a team builder. The implementation of the Pochettino style of play heavily relies on a shared commitment to fitness work. Without the player's physical readiness, the high pressing and quick ball recovery within 4 seconds of losing possession would simply be unattainable. All of these efforts serve a larger purpose, the positional game. Pochettino perceives football as a means to dominate the game by controlling the available space and achieving numerical superiority through strategic player positioning on the field. It's an extensively organized style, with only Pep Guardiola exhibiting a comparable level of rigidity. Mastering this approach requires extensive hours of coaching and practice. However, when observing a Pochettino-led team in full flow, one can easily identify its distinct characteristics. This includes precise ball distribution from the back, where the center backs split and drop. The fullbacks provide width, and the attacking players assume optimal positions to offer options in the final third. Possession serves as a means to achieve dominance, but is never an end itself. During his time at Paris Saint-Germain, Pochettino faced difficulties replicating the same level of dominance he had established at Spurs. The question remains, will the Chelsea job resemble his time at Tottenham or PSG? Critics may argue that Pochettino struggled at a super club like PSG and is better suited to working with a more ambitious and upwardly mobile side. However, PSG is a unique entity, unlike any other super club in terms of management structure. Pochettino has always had his sights set on another significant managerial position, and it might be that Chelsea provides the right conditions for him to once again shape the club's ethos and culture. Just as he offered Spurs a reset 9 years ago, he can offer Chelsea the same opportunity. Certainly, Chelsea is a club with wealth and glamour, but it's also going through a transitional phase, to put it mildly. The 19-year ownership of Roman Abramovich ended less than a year ago, and their new owners are still adjusting. Pochettino will be their 4th head coach within a short period of time. While Chelsea has experienced recent successes, such as winning the 2020-21 Champions League and the 2022 Club World under Tuchel, their league performances have been less consistent. Since their last Premier League title in 2016-17, their highest league finish has been 3rd place. Pochettino is not entering a dressing room that has been winning so much that they have become complacent. If the player he inherits have been humbled by the events of this season, they may be more receptive to embracing a fresh set of ideas. Undoubtedly, Chelsea has spent enormous sums of money and has an excess of players. However, they do not have players of Neymar or Mbappe's caliber, and there's no Messi on the horizon. While some players may be highly priced, they're not necessarily the most famous or decorated in the world. The issue lies more in the volume of the squad rather than anything else. Managing the squad this summer will be challenging at first. Pochettino will need a leaner squad to implement his preferred approach. He will identify players who embrace his ideas and desire to improve under his guidance, as well as those who do not. The owners will need to support him in sidelining those who fall into the latter category. Chelsea will have to show bravery in moving on from certain players, potentially even at the cost of significant financial losses on their investments. If all these aspects align and the owners share Pochettino's vision, there is potential for success. If he can convince enough players to embrace his approach, he could shape the squad to his liking, hungry, humble, and united, with a shared commitment to each other and self-improvement. Establishing a collective ethos and culture where everyone pulls in the same direction, remaining loyal to his ideas and to one another, could propel Chelsea to limitless heights. As we have explored the challenges and complexities faced by the club, it becomes clear that Pochettino's unique blend of man management, tactical prowess, and his ability to build a unified squad could be the key to restoring Chelsea's former glory. The stage is set, and the question remains, can Pochettino fix the chaos? Only time will tell. But the anticipation and excitement surrounding his arrival make for an enthralling journey that every football fan will be eagerly watching. We highly value your perspective on the matter, and we encourage you to express your thoughts in the comments below. If you're curious on whether financial fair play will come back to haunt Pochettino at Chelsea or not, be sure to check out the risk of that happening in this video next.